Hi there. My name is Michelle Prentice, and you're listening to Mama's Lullaby podcast, where we celebrate you and your journey to and through motherhood, the good, the hard, and the scary, giving you a place to be nurtured and mothered. You deserve it. Welcome. Hey guys, it's Michelle. Please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the latest podcasts. Hi, welcome. My name is Michelle Prentice. Welcome to my kitchen with my friends and my son. We are Mama's Lullaby podcast, and I'm so excited for this podcast today. These women are incredible on their own, and then together they're incredible. And I can't wait for you to meet them. But I also want to introduce you to my adopted son, Kevin BJ Jennings. I call him BJ, but his name is Kevin Jennings. And he is one of my huge inspirations for even being here today. So I am so grateful that he's helping me stay on track. Mm-hmm. And BJ, thank you so much for being a part of this with me.
Absolutely. Mom, it's a pleasure. And if you're new to Mama's Lullaby podcast, our hope is to do two things. One, we want to celebrate the journey of motherhood, right? There's so much to be celebrated. Even the challenging parts of it, I know over time can be celebrated. The other thing, though, we want to make sure you have a place where you still get to be nurtured and mothered as a mom. So this is not, we're not the podcast that's going to give you the 7 ways to make the perfect kid. What we're going to do, though, is give you a place where you can bring your way and just say, you know what, I'm doing great, I'm not doing so great, but there's other mothers who may be in different parts of their journey who can virtually put their arm around you and say, hey, we know how you feel, we've been there, and here's our journey too. And so it's really meant to be a place where you don't have to be anything other than where you are right now. All right. And so my job is to be as ignorant as I really am. I know you're like, why do we have a man at this table? Just because I love moms. How about that? That's what I've got. So with that, Mom, I'd love to introduce the two amazing women to your right and left.
Yes, this is Stowe Dailey, and this is Karen Good, and together they are Stowe Good. They are a duo, incredible writers, incredible singers, musicians. And so I first met Stowe at Center for Spiritual Living. You were speaking. She is an author. She's a cancer survivor, and her story is unbelievable. The name of your book?
Flying High.
Flying High. When I read that book, I need to know her. I need to know this woman. And I think I called you. Said, can we have coffee or something? Yeah. I just fell in love with her. And then she introduced me to Karen, who I also fell in love with. And so anyway, you guys have a duo together called Stowe Good. And tell me what are you guys doing? What do you do? Tell people that don't know. What do you guys do?
Take it.
They're a comedy team.
We mix humor. We mix healing songs. We have a great time writing about what we call music for grown-ups. So it's like music that can touch your heart, make you laugh, hopefully make you feel better.
Help you cry.
Help you cry.
Yeah. Well, when I had the idea to write a song about a special needs child, not that either one of you have special needs children, do you? You don't have.
We'll talk.
Okay. But my point is that, like, I've been guided on this journey the entire time, I believe, from God. And so I would get names. I would have something I wanted to write about that I felt the need to write about. And then I would get the name, and so I called you, and you said, Karen, I would love to write. And I went to your house. And we wrote this song called In This Moment about having a special needs child and being in the moment, kind of what you said about you are where you are right now. Because that's the only time there actually is right now, right? And we just had it was just this incredible synergy that happened between these women. And I just kind of threw out some ideas, and it was just really fascinating. But keep me on track, DJ.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
already feel a little like
no, that's okay.
I've kind of gone off the rails a bit, but I'm just so happy to have him here.
You're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect way to start. So when you all sit down and you all are exploring the lyrics, so let's just zero in on some lyrics.
Yeah.
So we can unpack them together, and then I'll kind of ask some follow-up questions about each of you.
Okay. So the first line is, I watch you while you sleep, and silently I weep. Can I be enough? Can I be strong enough to hold you up, knowing what's to come? And we're talking to Lisa Ashman in another podcast. She was talking about her son, and they gave him the diagnosis of what he would be able to do and what he wouldn't be able to do. And she just refused to accept that.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think, obviously when you were diagnosed with cancer, you just refused to accept a death sentence.
Right.
And whatever, I don't really know a lot of your story, but I'm sure you have some very powerful stories as well. And I think, so this song is really about not like being in the moment, wherever we are right now, we accept it as here, but we don't accept that this is all there is.
Right.
Well, so my question for all of you would be, does that come to you fairly naturally? So maybe for each of you, is living in the moment something that, looking back over who you are and who you become, is that something that came naturally to you, or something you had to work, or life maybe helped you get to that place? So why don't we start with you?
It's an ongoing
Yeah.
process. It's like the tendency to get all, inside yourself and ruminate over things that are troubling, what's coming in the future. And then there has to be, and within me, this constant reminder that, okay, like right now you're sitting here with friends. You're safe in a house with a roof and you have a cup of coffee or whatever. And it's like your moment is good. Most of the time your moments are good. I would say the majority. So yeah, it's like trying not to go off into the future, which hardly ever happens.
Right. The bad scenario, the worst case scenario.
So this was so much affecting my life and our lives. We wrote a song about it, and it says, ooh, there's a scary place between your ears, behind your face. So beware, don't go there. Yes, it's called Get Back from the Future.
So good.
Yeah.
So true. Because that's what we do.
Oh,
We just go, okay. I remember, I don't know how long ago, it was a long time ago. I was laying in bed, had my arm up. You know how you do the normal exam, and I felt a lump. And in 3 seconds, I killed myself, and my children were motherless. I did. And of course, it was a Friday. So I couldn't do anything about it. And my husband said to me, look, I know you can't do this, but I am going to know for you that this is going to be fine. I'm going to hold that knowing, because I couldn't hold it. I was too freaked out.
Yeah.
My dad died of cancer, so I had that already preconceived notion of cancer equals death in my experience as a young girl. So having somebody hold a picture and a knowing for you is so powerful. And that's kind of what I want to do with Mama's Lullaby for you guys, for all of us.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes for ourselves, but we can certainly do it for each other.
If we can hold the knowing for you that you are going to be okay where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really powerful. So, obviously I just took a peek. And I heard the song, but I have not memorized the lyrics. So taking a peek at the second section there, I'm going to read that for us.
The verse? Okay.
This wasn't in our plans.
This wasn't in our plans. It's hard to understand. Everyone is telling me all you'll never be. I won't believe it's true. Because in this moment, you're perfect in my eyes. I see inside. I see your precious soul. I got chills.
Me too.
And this moment is all there really is, So I'll love you in this moment now.
That's all we have.
I would love for you to share with me what you're thinking.
Oh my. Well, Stowe and I were listening to the song again yesterday. And for a second, I thought, well, it's been such a long time, like 40 years since I had an infant.
Yeah.
But here's my truth, and I wonder if it's not true for some other people, that my 40-year-old baby still You know, I can look at Facebook posts from all the little girls that she was in brownies with, and they're now doctors and lawyers, and they have children, and my sweet baby is still living at home having great difficulties. And you know what? It's so dangerous to compare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, this wasn't in our plans. This was not my plan. And I adore my child. I adore her. And she's beautiful and precious, and she makes me laugh, and she's sweet as can be. So I have to stay in the moment. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that the truth?
Thank you for sharing.
Wow.
And, yeah, that's powerful. I just turned 39, and I hope my mom and my dad are somewhere saying our 39-year-old baby, right?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it still feels, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, so that's powerful. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yes, please. What comes to your mind as we read the lyrics?
Oh, well, I think back, you know, when I had okay, so first of all, my mother died when I was 3. So I really, I didn't have, for many, many years of my life, I had no example of a real mother. I lived with a lot of different people in foster homes and stuff. And there was one lady who was wonderful to me. And, but overall, I thought, I never want children. I don't know how to be a mother. I don't think I can do it. And yet I heard a voice that said, I want to have a baby. It was like an outside voice. It's kind of weird, but I followed that, and I ended up having a child. And once I had a baby in my arms, you can't do anything but be in the moment. You know, it's just like holding this precious person, and oh my God, it's in this moment now, and I love your soul and who you are, and whoever you came
No matter
to be.
how you showed up. Yeah.
And so as soon as I had one, I wanted another one. So yeah.
Yeah, when you all look back, what did motherhood unlock within you? You know, like I think it's very easy for people to think about what you're doing for your kid. And what I feel in this moment, no pun intended, I'm in front of 3 women who have become very, not different, but clearly you all have grown through your own journeys. And I'm curious to hear what role you think motherhood has played in unlocking who you've become.
Oh, wow. Well, I will speak to that. I knew I didn't want to have a kid. I was having a career, and I thought I was going to be famous. You know, that's where my focus was. And then, yeah, the same thing kind of happened. I don't know if it was my biological clock or a voice or something. And all of a sudden, I had to have a baby. And now, in spite of all the trials and tribulations, can I say I feel sorry for people that aren't mamas? It has expanded my heart. I didn't know my heart could be so big and that I could love unconditionally that much. And I don't know how. I am so happy that I followed that and became a mama. It's probably the best thing I ever produced.
I love that. What about you, Mom?
Well, gosh, I started young. I was 18 when I had my daughter. I got pregnant my senior year of high school. Wow. After I got my 4-year scholarship in the University of Utah and won this award. And then I got pregnant after I was playing Annie that following December. So I went from Annie to pregnant and married in the whole 4 months.
Wow.
You know, I always wanted to be a mom. So I knew that was one thing I wanted to be. It has made me grow in ways I definitely would not have grown, for sure. When you have these people that you love so dearly, and then they grow up, and these are the challenges that you have, right? It just makes you grow as a person. You have no choice, really, but then to grow. Sometimes it's not very fun. Sometimes it doesn't feel very good, but it's made me definitely a better person, a more empathetic person, a more caring person. And I do feel for women who want to have children and can't. I feel immense for them because I can't imagine. But there are ways to mother even if you don't have a baby. I didn't have Kevin, but I mothered him. And there are children who need mothering and people who need women who need mothering. And so those women tend to be amazing motherers and nurturers. And so we bless you because we need you in the world too. We really need you. Plus you're not exhausted because you can take our kids. We're like, please take my kid and take it to the zoo. I don't want to go. I'm too tired. But I think it's just made me a better person all the way around for sure.
What about you?
Well, I wouldn't be who or where I am now without having been a mother. And at the same time, I still sometimes don't feel like a mother.
Really?
It's kind of an odd feeling.
What do you mean? Like you don't feel like a mother? Like when you look at the kids, they don't feel like they're yours. They feel like separate from you, or what?
I'm very connected with them, and I know I'm their mother. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But, it's like I said, I didn't want to have children. Mostly it's like after I had a baby, I thought, I love having babies.
Yeah.
This is real. I could have babies all day if it weren't so painful. And then, but it's the little children that I thought that I'm not going to be able to do. That's why I needed two, because I'm not going to be down there on the floor playing with you. I'm going to be playing my guitar and stuff. But then I ended up homeschooling them, which I never would have thought. So 9 years of my life I spent with my kids, but still it was kind of somewhat hands off. I wanted them to have autonomy, that I didn't want to hover over them. And I wanted to be my own person, too. So, and maybe that's why I say, I don't feel like some of the mothers that I see that are really hands-on.
Yeah. And I'm not putting words in your mouth, so please, I would like you to correct me. Well, remember, I don't want to get canceled. I'm kidding. We were on a podcast, some man's telling us how to feel. I am not doing that. I am trying to hear and listen and mirror back what I'm hearing. But it sounds like when I hear you talk, it sounds like you've worked really hard to maintain a sense of, a healthy sense of self, while also making sure they have a healthy sense of self. We were talking to Lisa Ashman earlier in the episode, and she was speaking to the fact that it's very easy for us as parents to fall into codependency.
Right.
Where now the kid's success or lack thereof, their health or lack thereof, is mine. It's not my responsibility. I am them, and they are me. Yeah. And now I can't untether without having to do some fairly deep inner work about seeing where I begin and end, and us, and how, if we allow it, parenting presents an organic opportunity to be aware of, I guess in a beautiful way, our powerlessness, right? Like when your kid's sick, I'm like, well, I can't make them well. I can show up for them. I can't make them well. When I hear you speak, I'm like, man, I identify with that. I mean, I know I'm the dad, but I feel responsible, but I don't feel like they are me. I don't feel, it's like, it's a difference. It's hard to explain.
No, but that's a good way to be.
Perceptive.
That's a good way to be, because then you're not, I think sometimes when people think their kids are them, those are the ones that are you have to succeed because that means
I did it.
Yeah. And you have to excel at this because, the pressure.
What would that mean about me?
Yeah. So it's not, and I'm not even pointing fingers at people. It's just it's a misunderstanding of where that energy is coming from. Right. And what that can do to children energetically, emotionally. Yeah. So like stage moms, for instance.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yeah. Or pageant moms, sometimes the children don't even want to do the pageant, but the moms really want them to because they wanted to do it. And so I would love to, kind of touch on that, because sometimes I think we do live through our children. Like with my kids, I watch myself. Like my daughter will tease me and say, Oh yeah, there was a time when I was working with Mark when he hired me to do this variety show, and we had this joke we were going to do on our friend who was the MC. And during this one song, we were going to have Gabby, who was like 7 at the time, go out and say, "You're my daddy," or something stupid, which I shouldn't have done, but I was 25, so I just I thought it would be funny, and she wasn't going like, go. She's like, "You're a stage mom." I wasn't generally, but that day I kind of was a stage mom.
Yeah, Karen, what comes to your mind as we're going to talk to this?
Yeah. Well, there's two things. First of all, I definitely thought that my daughter was just going to be a little mini me. Mm-hmm. And she immediately started proving me totally wrong. I mean, every time. I was a straight A honor student. Not Rachel. Nope. I never got in trouble because I was just terrified of ever getting my hand slapped. Not Rachel. I mean, she really showed me. But this came to my mind, I'm not sure why, but Stowe taught me something very important because, our Stowe Good office is in my house. And so, and plus we're best friends.
Yeah.
So she was kind of watching me, maybe hovering over and taking too much care of Rachel. So Stowe taught me about the mama eagle, and that the mama eagle, when it's getting ready to have the eggs, fluffs up the nest, fluffs it up really nice and fluffy and comfy. And then once they're born, little by little, she starts removing a piece of fluff
She
here.
defluffs.
She defluffs. So a little piece, one day you might not notice it, but pretty soon all there is are sticks. And they poke and they're uncomfortable just at the time when, it might be time for you to fly on your own.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was a lovely.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was a great lesson too.
Uh-huh.
Where I heard that.
Yeah, it's good.
It was good.
I love that. And I love the intentionality of that too, right? It is the wisdom of the mother to know this will be a little painful for you, but I get to create what may feel uncomfortable for you, but it's still safe. Mm-hmm. It might seem unsafe to you, but I know it's safe.
Yeah.
But I'm creating the environment for you to try to thrive so you can do it without me at some point.
Yeah. And that's
really
important.
cool.
That's a very important point because I do have friends who never left their mom's house, and and they're my one friend who I just adore. But when his mom passed, and my uncle too, this uncle right there, when my grandmother passed, he was lost. Mm-hmm. He never got married, and he was just lost. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I mean, it's really challenging, but it's hard to see your kids struggle. It's so hard to not jump in there. And,
I know.
But I think about when my mom didn't jump in for me. I don't know. I just knew I could do it. I learned that I could do it. That's kind of how it affected you. Yeah, it affected me that way. I mean, she was there, but with my own kids, like I really, I watch myself because I really want to like not let them suffer at all. But that makes them stronger, and as long as it doesn't kill them, it's like nothing that's like dangerous or like deadly. I would jump in a second. But.
Yeah.
And then I do have to say sometimes you add a little fluff back in and you allow them to come back into the nest.
That's true. You do. But that's also a sweet time too.
Yes.
It's also a sweet time. And Johnny lives home here too again.
Well, I was just saying that I think that's a part of the art of motherhood, right? It's like you're trying to learn what each kid might need and how much one kid might need a little bit more fluff in a season and one needs a little less fluff in a season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do struggle with the, I admire how you are as loving her unconditionally. And I try to do the same thing with my kids too. But it's like, when you see somebody kind of stagnating, a child is not like, you could do more, like how much I know parents who like jump in and go, okay, I'm gonna pony up, thousands of dollars so you can go to school or do this or whatever. And it's like, when do you do that? And when do you just say, this is totally their life. If they don't want to do anything with it, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the answers to these things.
No, these are all difficult questions. It's just it is the thing of like, okay, that's where your trust in God has to come in, I think, or your belief system is like, I want to keep telling my kids, you can do anything. You can do anything. I got your back. You can do it. I believe in you. But if they don't want to do it, you know, what are you going to do?
Or if they can't, if they
can't. Yeah, if they physically and emotionally just don't.
Right.
There are those circumstances. So you just do the best you can to make sure that you take care of yourself in that situation.
Yes.
Right.
It makes me so they kind of take me to the song a little bit actually, because I'm thinking about the latter half of the song. So why don't you read those lyrics out loud?
You want to read it?
I love this verse.
You read it.
I don't have my glasses.
Oh. Okay.
I have it memorized.
Okay.
This world may be unkind, but I'll be by your side, and we will make it through, me and you, learning as we go. Trusting the grand design. Not every poem rhymes.
That's your
I
line.
love
And
that.
you are uniquely you, exactly who you were born to be.
There we go.
Yeah.
And you know what? But you know where that line came from?
Where?
Yep. It's not my line, but I found it.
Great line. You had it that day.
It was from Gilda Radner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was in some thing that she said, I think going through her cancer, that she was talking about not every poem rhymes.
Wow.
And such a beautiful, beautiful line.
I think it really speaks really well to what you all just talked about, as far as the wrestling with the question of when do I let their life be their life and when do I not? And sometimes I think, I think about maybe even the impulse to jump in, or even when you don't, what may at the time, in let's say shorter horizon, feel like a mistake. Like I shouldn't have stepped in, or maybe I should have held back. But grand design includes even your impulses.
That's right.
Right. And so it's pretty profound lyrics you all have there to kind of coincide with what do I do when I'm wrestling with it? It's like, well, why don't you check in with yourself about why am I doing this for myself versus for them?
Yeah.
Even your responses are a part of the grand design.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Karen and I have a song called You Can't Do It Wrong. And it's very comforting. It's like, even I look back at some of the things that I think I did really wrong, with my children. But knowing that each of us are in each other's lives as teachers, and our children are certainly there as teachers to us and we to them. And it's like, maybe something I did was not the best way, for sure, to handle that situation. But
if you
they have to deal with it.
And also, if you'd known better, you'd have done better.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth. We can only do what we know, right? And until we know better, then when we do know better, we do better. I mean, that's the truth. I don't know any mother who wouldn't do better if she knew better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Sure.
so
Right. My youngest daughter just got a puppy, and she was talking about, like she made mistakes with the puppy already. And I said, yeah, well, someday she'll be like you, and she'll have to go to 3 years of counseling to get
that's what I told. I'm like,
I said, but be easy on yourself. You did the best you could.
that is the greatest gift ever. Grandchildren and animals. No, I would say don't worry about saving money for school. Save money for therapy.
There you go.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
I mean, really.
No, no.
And what one of the things I do want to really address in Mama's Lullaby podcasts and stuff is emotional health and how to deal with your emotions. I learned this wonderful process called Faster EFT, which uses meridian tapping and like NLP, dealing with your subconscious, like how your mind does what it does. And we get like programs. We get programs from our family and from our experiences, and you have these memories and they trigger you like right back to like when you go home and you get the same triggers, like when you're 50 and your mom's 80 and you still get the same trigger. It's just that programming, and it's a way to kind of change that so that you can look at things differently and feel differently about it and literally release it from the body. But I really want to help people understand that we do have a lot more power and control over, if we understand how this mechanism works, to clean up that old stuff that's not working anymore and change it into something that does, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you teach that?
I I have done some seminars, but I do sessions with people, which of course I'm happy to grant you both a session if you ever want. But it's really powerful and transformational. It changed my life in a massive way.
One of my buddies, one of my best friends is a therapist, and he said that children are amazing observers and terrible interpreters.
Yes. Oh, what a great way to put it.
And so you're asking a kid to have the wisdom they're going to naturally use their egocentricity to say, my parents' divorce is because something I did, right? Like they don't have the wisdom to interpret the circumstance appropriately, but that wound is metastasizing over time, and that's what we're addressing in therapy, right? It's all of these misinterpretations because we didn't know your side or their side in the other context. All I had was my understanding.
That's right.
And so when I hear, with my own very expensive, almost decade-long therapy bill, I look at it now and I say to myself, yeah, my parents contributed, but it's not them. I didn't have the wisdom to understand what I was looking at. I was 7, and so I've got to really change the programming I had that I've been living off of about my misinterpretation of a moment, So what I would like to do as we kind of wrap things up, I would love for each of you to kind of share what you want another mother to hear, not necessarily know, but to hear when maybe they're experiencing a situation where they're concerned about their child's poem not rhyming. Okay, so I'll give you a second to think about that.
That's a good question. Who wants to go first?
I'm oldest. I'll go first.
Okay.
I just want to say, kind of what I touched on before, that if your baby is 40 or more, or a grown person, and it's sure you planned on their poem rhyming, but it doesn't, it's absolutely okay. It's part of their growth. It's part of the universe, God's divine plan. You didn't do anything wrong, and you have lots of company. And I hope that you can listen to these sweet lullabies as if, they're not just for mothers with infants.
No.
They're beautiful, beautiful, nurturing for you.
All moms, all women, all women, all people. Men like them too.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Go. What about you, Mom?
Yeah. I notice for myself when my kids are anxious, I just want to take it away. But it's like my son said earlier in the podcast, that brought him to where he was today. So when your children are struggling, just know and just love them and love yourself and just trust. I mean, that's such a great line. Trust the grand design. Just trust that it'll be, you're not, our wonderful friend who is our therapist, he said, God has no grandchildren. God has no grandchildren. So we're all children of God, directly, direct line. So you don't have to go through anybody else, and just know that, just love them and tell them it'll be okay. And generally it does. It is okay. Eventually it is okay.
What about you?
I think the wisdom that comforted me the most, especially in the early years, was the ancient teaching that this too shall pass.
Oh yes, I love that saying.
Like you're worrying about, oh my God, they're still wetting the bed, or it's like, or they're not progressing the way they should, or whatever. But this too shall pass. It's nothing is forever. And the good moments as well as the uncomfortable ones pass. They pass by quickly, or more quickly than you think.
Yeah, they do.
So,
boy, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Hang on, and you are not alone. And I'm going to throw that in there.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody around that you can confide in and get wise counseling.
Yeah. I think of all the grandmas, the great grandmas, the aunties that are around that don't have small children or young children. And you don't, sometimes we don't think about it because it's not our culture anymore to go to those women, to be like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just want to get in someone's lap and just be held. And, don't be afraid to ask somebody for might be weird.
For
So
a
can I
laugh.
sit in your
Can I sit in your lap?
I mean, it depends on how close you are with them. Maybe don't go up to a stranger, but but I mean, really, like, it's just nothing more comforting than being held. Like there are people who actually, I think, for a living, hold people.
Oh,
Really?
It's a full-fledged service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll come in and cuddle with you and then go home.
If I didn't have
know.
such a bony lap, I could do that. Here.
Well, for those of you who are by this point, hopefully, like me, you want to hear the song. You're like, oh my gosh, I've got to hear this song. So you can actually listen to In This Moment right now on all streaming platforms. So whether that's Spotify or Apple Music, with the release of this episode, you can find In This Moment online now. But you can also hear all of Volume 1. Related to Mama's Lullaby. If you go to mamaslullaby.com, you can buy it, you can download it. We would love to make sure you can create your own environments where you feel, maybe you can feel held through a song. I know that sounds a little hokey, but anybody who found a good song before, yeah, it can speak to you in a way that maybe we can't from afar. But we want to make sure that you hear this music. So we'll make sure we put a little snippet here in the end of this episode, but we want to make sure you hear the full song today, which you can do for free. You go to Spotify or Apple Music, or wherever you enjoy your songs. And ladies, I want to thank you for letting me hang out with each of you. I'm very grateful and humbled by the opportunity to sit here and learn from each of you. It means a lot.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. And we look forward to having you on the next episode of Mama's Lullaby podcast.
Come back to my kitchen anytime.
This wasn't in our plans. It's hard to understand. Everyone's telling me, while you'll never be, I won't believe it's true. 'Cause in this moment, you're perfect in my eyes. I see inside, I see a precious soul. And this moment